Imagine life's challenges as a storm, a force that can either wash us away or spark the change we need. Here, we're the spark that ignites that storm, the fire that fuels it, and the guiding light through it. So, lean in, open your mind, and we'll realize that we are not at the mercy of the storm, but we are the storm.
For years, I searched for answers, tried everything, until I realized healing wasn't something outside of me. It was something within me. And it's within you too. Breathwork, movement, contrast therapy, these aren't just wellness fads. They're your body's way of unlocking the healing it already knows how to do. So the question isn't can you heal, it's will you. I built Reconnect Mind Body to help you answer that. Visit thereconnectlife.com and take the first step.
Welcome to We Are the Storm. We are so excited that you are joining us today for this amazing topic that we're going to dive into. I am Ashley, and this is my co-host, Jackie, and let's dive in. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, so excited.
I'm so excited about this topic. We had an episode of Linchpin, right?
Yeah.
And this concept, which is probably going to be the weirdest title of all of ours because it's and also. This was the other linchpin for me. And I expect the longer we do this, we'll have many, many, many more. But it's such a huge perspective, mindset, just way of being shift. And it opens up a lot of doors, and I can't wait to dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you first introduced this topic to me a long time ago, right? Long before we ever dreamed of being on a podcast together and sharing this insight with other people. But it was so impactful because it hit right at the heart of, I think, what so many women struggle with.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to, give away too much, but the impact of the and also concept is just so far reaching.
Yes.
And so impactful that I think we could literally do about 3 or 4 episodes just on this, but we're going to keep it concise today because we've got so much ground to cover.
Yes.
But I'm super excited.
And I also can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Because I know there's still unexplored territory where this concept will apply to, and I can't wait. So to explain, and also we have touched on it on another episode, but my little sister, Hillary, shout out Hillary, I can't remember what we were even talking about, but she said, and also for the ability to hold two concepts or, maybe contradictory things, which is also, called cognitive dissonance, they can both be true, right? I can be a good mom and also just yelled at my kid, right? Those two things can be true. Often we have this singularity in our mind. I am a bad mom if I yell at my kid. Well, that's a one-time thing, right? Maybe it was a mistake or your records were playing and that's something that your mom used to do for you.
Yeah, you bet.
And it comes back up and it's just this ability to hold two things true at the same time. And we're going to dive into this, but there was a poem that I really want to read. And I think we have to have an explicit warning for this. But shout out to Angie Sullins. I came across my feed on Facebook randomly, and I don't know why I decided to read it, but I started, and it just encompassed everything for me. Everything that I have been thinking about and dealing with and feeling, and the duality, the contradictory nature of things, and also, these two things are true. It said all of it. So, Angie, you are phenomenal, and I love you. And I'm going to read this out for you guys. It's a little long, so bear with us. Sometimes exhaustion and activism sit side by side. Sometimes they play footsie under the table while enjoying a pot of fondue. Sometimes anger and compassion square dance. Spin your partner do-si-do at a honky-tonk joint outside of town. Reverence and irreverence have been known to give piggyback rides to each other. The two of them snort laughing their way down the aisles of all that's holy. The sacred and the profane are next-door neighbors. They serve sage truffles and strawberry boxed wine at their Thursday night book club. The foolish is my saucy friend, and the wise my midnight lover. This means I can march in the streets with a bullhorn, a human torch of rage and compassion. Then curl into the shape of grief in a fort made of hope blankets. Then cry feathered tears for the tiny broken robin's egg on my driveway, and still use words like dictard and cuntwaffle. Two things can be true at the same time, like this poem that seems to rhythm and rhyme, and then doesn't. Let this be your get out of jail card when you hold yourself prisoner inside the smallest, simplest version of you, the cleanest you, the compliant you, the chameleon you, no longer needs to conform to the one crayon picture someone else colored you to be. Stop demanding the world to be only one thing, or expecting people to comply with your version of sanctity. Life itself is a juicy contradiction, a hot, glorious mess of entangled beauty. So are you. Live it all, let it all, then own it all. Authenticity is sexy. Accountability is the new pretty. Transparency is the little black dress that can take you anywhere. Get real. Then wear that realness to every event. It's the spicy accessory that goes with everything. This way lies the zip code of your genius, where your deep joy feeds the world hunger. This way lies fragile, fierce belonging, as it sways with toothsome reality to a jukebox lullaby on a floor of sawdust and wonder. I've read this like 10 times, and I still feel like I get goosebumps, and it just punches you in the gut.
Yeah. It's like the ultimate permission slip.
Yes.
As an adult, right? It's just like, yes, you can be both.
Yeah.
And I think it's just it's a dagger to the heart of the comparison culture.
Yeah.
Where we find ourselves, where we have to be painted in either or fashion.
One color.
One color. It's the one crayon picture.
Yes.
Or drawing. It's so impactful. Her words are raw in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And brutally honest.
Yep.
But just beautiful.
Yes.
And I think that's what the and also encapsulates. It encapsulates the sophistication, but also the raw nature of who we are and the ever-changing, the evolution, the different layers to us.
Yeah.
That just because we may appear in one instance a certain way, it doesn't negate the other parts of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And so that concept of duality
Yes.
is just so impactful. And so there's a saying that I love. It's not, we're really trained to be, right? We need to paint ourselves as we are something. And then in coaching, we try to shift people away from being to becoming, right? That process.
Yeah.
Give yourself the reason, the chance, the space to change and become.
Yeah.
But what if it's not either or? It's being and it's becoming.
Yeah.
Right? That's the and also. Because we are things.
Yes.
And we're also becoming other things.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to the heart of resilience.
Absolutely.
Is we don't have to lay down parts of ourselves that might be less appealing to some to embrace more appealing parts to others, to be more acceptable.
Yeah. I think you hit on the be and becoming is so powerful for just everything. And it's such an eloquent way of putting it. I talk a lot about, it is what it is. I hate when people say it is what it is. It's almost like you're just glossing over the fact that you're hurt or you're upset or whatever feeling you're feeling.
Yeah.
Those are valid feelings. I can be upset, and also I can find the pearl in this. I can find the silver in this storm. I can get through it. I can be emotional and fragile and sensitive and also a powerhouse that accomplishes amazing things. These two things can be true at the same time. And saying them out loud, saying them and also gives our brain permission to accept it almost, right? Instead of the but that normally negates. I'm feeling emotional, but I'll get over it. No, not but. don't negate or downvalue or almost, I say, and also gives honor, right? Somebody's going through some sort of storm. Whatever it is you're feeling is valid.
Yeah.
And it should be there. And you should honor that. You should allow yourself to be that and also become the storm.
Yeah.
And also, do what you need to do and use this resilience framework to get through it. But both things are true. I can be and become.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is so beautiful. There's a freedom in not having to replace parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
We can embrace all of it and carry all of these different, parts with us.
Yeah.
And they're all true.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yeah.
They can coexist.
Yeah.
One piece of us doesn't have to replace another.
Yeah.
And I think that just, like I said, it's just this ultimate acknowledgement and permission
Yes.
to be and become. Right? There's this wonderful, it's just this wonderful freeing state where we can really acknowledge how we can be simply at odds with ourselves, seemingly, right? At odds.
Always.
But that's more often the case than not,
Yes.
right? I mean, if we're honest about it, I mean, how often are we not stressed, not worried, not anxious about something, but at the same time, excited and motivated and, inspired?
Yeah.
Recently I found myself in that situation with my work, right? There's lots of overwhelm and anxiousness and stress and building a business and, expanding the business and providing work for other people. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, and also so much excitement about the direction and the impact and the change.
Yes.
And all of the things. And so both of those things actually fuel me.
Yes.
It's not just the motivation. It's not just the good parts.
Yes.
It's the seemingly hard stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and all of these things that I do experience on the regular. That fuels my fire as well.
Yeah. The duality of it, both things are true, and you're giving respect to it, right?
Yeah.
There is stress in this. There is frustration in having people count on you. I know that feeling. Count on you to make something happen, right? There's a lot of pressure and stress and being a mom and doing a million things all at once.
Yeah.
There's this ability to acknowledge and validate it. And also, I'm still a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I am emotional, I am sensitive, and also I can make magic happen. I can be scared and also have wonder. The ability to unlock so many things. And I wrote down confirmation bias and valid because I want to come back to it. But there's a part in the poem that also talks about the world. The world is messy.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make it like it's not. And you are messy. Stop trying to make it like it's not.
Yes.
Both of those things
Yeah.
are true.
Right.
And it just, that permission, the frankness of it, that we're trying so hard to hold on to that one crayon drawing of who maybe our parents told us we were supposed to be, or who our peers or friends or coworkers or the expectations of who we're supposed to be. We are not a one crayon drawing. I mean, we can explore the whole box of crayons. How many different Crayola colors do they have now?
Right. So what do you think that tells us about a mindset shift? Like what's shifted for you when you've embraced the and also, specifically how it tethers back to resilience?
Yeah. It's changed. This is, not an understatement. It's changed everything. In fact, many of my friends, they joke about me saying, and also because I do it for everything. That really ties into the valid and confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when we seek out information or research or proof of whatever we already believe to confirm that belief, right? And I think that ties into tribe, which we're going to go into as well. When we are looking for people. We find people that are just like us,
Yep.
right? That believe the things we believe. That when I go to you and I'm like, oh, this person or this thing is so hard, you're like, yeah, it really is hard, right? You are confirming. And I think that speaks to our need for validation, right? I'm coming to you and saying, I have this mess. Am I crazy? Like, am I seeing this? Is my perspective off? Like, it's vulnerable and you need that validation. Like, hey, yeah, you do see this, but there's a second step.
Yeah.
And also there's a second step, right? And that second step is saying you are valid and your perspective is valid. And also it's a perspective. There are other perspectives. We see different things. There's like the fundamental attribution error that we were talking about, it's an instantaneous thing in our mind to need it, right? We automatically attribute negative things to the person. That's the fundamental attribution error. We can't undo that. Cognitive biases are the things that happen. They're the systematic failures our mind makes. And also, we have the ability to go that second step. That, okay, maybe there is an external circumstance that's contributing to this behavior or what we're seeing. There's another side to this. And that part is the and also. I am valid in my feelings, in my perspective. And also, I'm going to take a second step. And maybe I'm valid but incomplete, or my viewpoint's incomplete. Or maybe I'm valid and also that's a recording, and I can realize that now that I've taken this second step, and do I want to keep this recording? Do I want to change that tape player? It opens up the door, as you said, for all of this other reflection and growth and opportunity for everything that you look at, every challenge that you face, every storm that you go through. I can weather this storm, and also, can I become more?
Yeah.
Can I do more? What other things can I see or shape or do or impact? I'm going to honor what I have and what I am right here, right now, not fight it, and also grow and look forward and become, as you said.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of resilience.
I do. I really think it's a huge part of resilience. And I think it's also a really interesting piece of how we can model resilience to other people, because a lot of what we do with resilience is internal. But that and also statement, when people are bringing things to us, specifically, let's talk about parenting for a second.
Yeah.
You know, our kids bring things to us all the time,
All the
right?
time.
Who's got teenagers? Oh, shout out. There's a lot of things and a lot of big things that are big in their world and that are overwhelming and overpowering for them. And I think it's so useful for us to not only do it for ourselves, but to offer that to our kids and listen and be empathetic, and then go that second step and offer. And also,
Yes.
what else can be true? What else is true right now?
Yes.
It invites them to think about things, to reframe.
Yeah.
How else can I look at this? What part of me am I leaving behind? What else matters to me right now? And they might be contradictory.
And that's okay.
And I love it. Bring the other side.
Yeah.
You say the black, let's bring the white. Like it's all good. You don't have to leave any part of you behind. And I think that is so valuable in just modeling that for our kids. I mean, when you introduced the concept to me, I noticed that you said it a lot. I love that. I'm like, oh, and there's the end also, lady. I love it. But you would prompt me, right? When we would talk,
yes.
I would share something, and then immediately you would offer
And also. Yes.
and wait. And it's like you would just like offer it on like a platter.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
bring it. Like
Yeah.
what else is there? And just from a coaching perspective, what an incredible tool.
Oh, gosh.
To influence other people, to think about their circumstances in a really powerful, helpful way, and challenge people.
Yes.
To embrace the duality of who they are. Because remember, when we're bringing ourselves forward, we tend to very carefully manufacture a picture. And it's that, back to the poem, it's that one crayon drawing.
Yeah.
We fill it in ourselves. a lot. As we're young, a lot of it's filled in for us, but as we get older, we tend to pick up the one color. And maybe I just had a blue crayon in my hand for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's comfortable because people are used to seeing me as a blue. But what happens if I keep the blue? Remember when you're like young and you used to pick up like 10 crayons?
Yes.
And like line them up and then just do this all over the paper? Like, what if we did that instead? And as many colors as our hands can hold, we start drawing with them like all together.
Yeah.
And sharing that with people, I think it takes a lot of bravery and courage.
Yes.
But so does resilience.
Yes.
Resilience, the foundation of resilience is opening our eyes to what is and being willing to acknowledge and see ourselves for what truly is.
Yeah. You said so many amazing things, and the teenage part was my son is 5, so we're not there yet, but I hadn't yet thought about it for that. And you're so true. You acknowledge for them, this feels like the world is ending.
Yeah.
And also, is it?
Yeah.
So you validate what they're feeling, not fight against it, not, you're not really feeling the whole world right now. It's not that big of a deal,
Right.
Which is what a lot of, you're too sensitive, you are feeling too much, suck it up, buttercup, is a lot of what I was grown up with. Mm-hmm. But this is you're valid, and also let's question this. Let's look at this. What else is there? What other side? What other color? What black can we bring to the white, or vice versa? Yeah. And it's such a beautiful representation. And the other thing that you said about the platter, I truly love that image, because a lot of what we say on the surface value is surface value. A lot of what we say is surface value, right? It's, I say this thing. Rarely do we get challenged. Rarely do we challenge ourselves. And when you say something and I say, and also, it's almost like, oh, do I have more to say about this? What else could I say? Can I dive deeper? And it gives you an opportunity to explore it even more. What else is there? And it can be the duality. It can be the other perspectives. It can also be this opportunity for us to wonder what else is there. Yeah. I think we were talking about, as we get older, oftentimes there's this concept called functional fixedness. I don't know if we talked about this. Mm-hmm. There's a study that they give to kids, and don't come at me, I'm going to mush up all the words, but a study they give to kids about genius, and kids score off the charts and adults don't. And it's because as we get older, this mug is a mug. That's all we see it for. It's to hold liquid. It's not also a hat or a rain catcher or an ant house, or, right? There's a million things as a kid this mug can be. But as we get older, we have functional fixedness. It is made for the function of whatever it is. And I think and also allows for the creativity, the wonder that we felt as a kid, the possibility for other things in a safe environment, right? I've validated whatever it is I'm feeling. I've acknowledged it. I've felt it. And also now, what can we do with this mug? Yeah. Right? What can it be? Yeah. And it allows for that wonder.
It is. And I think it's a really valuable tool. And just, bringing in a little bit of the organizational side, this is something that is incredibly valuable for teams and incredibly valuable for brainstorming and strategy sessions and all of these. This tool, when you're looking for innovation, for wonder, that W word, right? Mm-hmm. It's so powerful. Those that are familiar with the Table Group and their work and the working genius model, and you've got wonder and innovation as the first two working styles,
both of which are mine.
Both of which are not mine. I don't get in those meetings for a good reason, but it teaches me so much. Mm-hmm. But it's also, when you're in those types of meetings with people, that and also, is so valuable because ideas just keep building on each other. And then this idea leads over here and also over here. And all of a sudden you have this amazing body of ideas and creative genius that's on board, where traditionally there's an idea and it gets shut down, replaced by something else, and it's laid on top of it.
Yes.
And by consensus in the room, right? And done well, that creative genius of and also, whether external in a room full of people or if it's with our teenage son, which let me tell you, I'm just going to get on my soapbox here for a second. I have 3 teenage boys. And I will say something is about the evening phenomenon at bedtime when they just want to talk. And they might be grunting and silent all day, but there's something about 10:30 at night where there's a, can we talk? And this is where it all happens. Like this is the battlefield. It all gets laid bare. Yeah. But it's been my experience that this is the time when they want to bring forward the sensitive parts of themselves, the troubles, the anxiousness, the things that are weighing on them. This is the time when this and also really comes, because it's a perfect opportunity to close their day on a really inspiring, accepting, loving note. Yeah. Right. And so it's useful, just so you know, the evening little chat sessions, just stay there as long as you can possibly stay awake, but bring in the end also. Because if they're willing to talk, and, usually they will be, with boys, they say they either talk it out or run it out. But that talking with the and also gives permission and perspective and builds a muscle of seeing ourselves in that dual nature. Yes. Which is really valuable, especially in those teenage years where we all lived those teenage years. We all went through middle school where conformity was key. The worst thing that, the fate worse than death was to be different. Yeah. As we get older, that flip-flops, right? We want to embrace our differences and, show how we are exceptional and unique. But that is not the case. And so we want to help foster that muscle, even though they might not have the permission outwardly to show it to their peers at that time. It's going to be so, so valuable that they have that well developed as they move into those years where it's accepted and celebrated. Yeah. Right? And then we have the and also that we do for ourselves. With the self-talk and the kind of the reappraisal about how we feel about what's going on with us and how we're feeling when we feel like we've been a bad parent. Yeah. We all have those moments. Oh, yeah. We lose our tempers. We say things we don't mean. We say things to our spouse or, everybody. And also, you're consistent, you're dedicated, you're caring, you're doing all of these things. So I think it's just the applicability of the and also concept and the dual nature of the being and becoming. Yes. Yeah. Gives us not only an acceptance, but direction. It hits all of the bases, right? As you were saying, it's the difference between closed off and open. Yeah. Of limiting and possibilities, of achieving multiple goals with multiple perspectives, because life is messy. Yeah. And also, so are we. And also, we can become the storm. We are the storm in our lives. We can feel at its mercy. We can feel tired and exhausted and stressed. And also we get up and we do the work and we get through it and we show up for people and we show up for ourselves. It's all of those things. Yeah. It's just this massive perspective shift and mindset shift for everything. And you had said, what is the impact? I don't know yet, because we're still exploring. And I didn't even think about it with kids, but you were so right. And in businesses and in teams, the possibilities are endless with how you can see things and what you can use it for. Yeah. It's just how you interface with the world. Yeah. It's a fundamental lens shift away from the singleness of how we see ourselves, right? Because we're given a role, and we all, like, especially as women, we wear so many different hats. But while we have that hat on, whether it's mom, wife, daughter, sister, CEO, whatever it is that we have, a hat we have on our head, there's a singleness to that role. There's like a feeling of a certain way that you show up. But embracing the duality of all of those things and the nature of carrying things through, it's so powerful. Because
I agree.
It's almost like now we don't have hats on anymore.
Yes.
Right?
And going back to the one color drawing, I feel as though it's almost also socially that we only wear one hat at a time. I can only be at the office. I cannot be a mom at the same time. I can only be at home. I cannot be, whatever at the same time. It's this expectation that I can only be one thing at one time. And that's just not true.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I am all of these things at all times. And that is what makes me powerful. The acceptance rather than fighting the resistance of it. The validation of it, and also what can we do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most important, takeaway for me is just to encourage the and also statement as often as I can possibly get it and fit it into my internal monologue and everything that I say to people around me. When they're sharing with me, when they're bringing something to me, offer that back like you did with me, right? You taught me and you just set something right in front of me and gave me space to place something there.
Yeah.
Which is so powerful. And it's an invitation that we rarely get right now. So I think this concept was foundational.
Yes.
It really is life-changing. And I think it's one of
Absolutely.
those undergirding principles that will always build resilience in us because it's a muscle that is applicable in every single facet of our lives.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this conversation with me. And I am so grateful for all of you who have listened to this episode. And also, I hope you tune in for the next one. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thank you for joining. We hope today's episode has ignited a pivotal spark in you and uncovered a fresh perspective that reminds you hold the power to transform every storm into your strength. Share this journey with your tribe and re-listen to uncover hidden gems. Until next time, keep building your resilience. And when you face the storm, don't just weather it, become it.